Every Sunday at 8 p.m. Sierra Leone time. Streaming live on all VOS social media platforms. Stay informed, stay engaged, stay connected with VOS.
We let we salon. Salon, salon. We let we salon. We let we salon. Like that day. We salon. Mama salon, we like you.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever on the dinner the world. This we come from this Mr. Shillon from the United States and Mr. Mengot from England. This program is being presented to from Canada. So sorry, we're starting very late today because today has been unusually challenging. We get technical difficulties upon technical difficulty, but I think we'll solve the problem. So we're not going to go into all the usual prepping or preparation work in the talk. But so this time I just would go straight to what the program is going to be. So I'm going to turn it over to me co-host, Mr. Victor Mengot, who will go discuss the topic, or we'll go mention the topics, and then we'll go take it from there. We'll go tell you which we'll cover today. So, of course, today is July 12th, 2026. Thank you to you, Mr. Mengot.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Shillon. Today, this topic one can talk about. Now, topic we now more or less for things and for enlightening people then, because we get two parts series. Part one, now for this airports and Lungi development, but more specifically, we know say for the past 1 year, President Bio now be chairman of the heads of government of the Ecowas. So it came towards the end of the first year, and he decides say he wants to showcase salon in the sense that he want all this ECOWAS summit, because the summit now two parts. You get the first part where they begin this week, when at the technical committee them, when at the ministerial conference, all them things. But the main one, now the one where would they expect the heads of government to come, whether I think say they take place next week Sunday. And don't get us wrong, we know say in Sierra Leone, whenever they happen, there's a political undertone. We get some people that will refer to this issue about the last time we'll get such or call a sub-regional or regional conference or continental conference that in 1980 will be host the OAU conference. So there are people that will be in the try for drop power. And the government will say this one is completely different. So we're not going to all the one and they want to look at this complex, the center where they build for host this complex, this conference at a record time. Because why I say at a record time? Because if we look at this agreement for build this particular conference center, I'll call a complex. What's in the complex? They call it a modern conference complex. If you get a high capacity convention hall, where they say we never get a hall in a salon where they host 1,000 people. You get presidential villas. I believe so you get one for your president. Then 15 other one for the heads of states, then for the 15 ECOWAS head of states. They get an adjoining hotel, which is a 100-room hotel, where hopefully then tell we say na Hilton and one layer around this hotel. Fine. We are not against development. But what you can discuss is government say this thing will cost the nothing as a result. You want to look at issues for deal with the finance of the complex, would they involve some of the things that the law say, whether they do due diligence. And also the second part, we want to look at the arrangement for the conference because there are some restrictions. There's restrictions of movement of people during the time where the conference they hold. There's also suspension of activities now we cargo partner the airport. And also some logistics plan, which obviously nothing for deal with the safety of the other heads of state that will come. Then also will be hearing rumor, or not even rumor, but there was video evidence, which although we not get now, where some people then we been get land, where some we don't get buildings next to the complex. Government decide for say them for demolish them for security reasons. So we'll look at all the actions that we government don't take within the context of the law, because we now will look at things to do with the law, and we expect government for do things right. We expect government for protect citizens' rights. There's also this issue of the airport security fee, where although it is not part of this whole issue, but the timing of it and waiting and decide for do, people then begin say, well, this now because of this conference where they come now make so they put on temporarily. So now all entities were examined, and before I go any further, the next part we will look at Anti-Corruption Commissioner Ben Kelfala, the man who is dangerously educated. We can give account of the 8 years of office and talk of some of the challenges that we don't get in terms of institutional rivalry between him and Parliament, and also what he feels say nine make corruption in the country. So then at the introduction, over to you, Mr. Shillon. If not to that, we will start first with this agreement with government, with Parliament, and some of the issues for dealing with the constitutional side. And not just this agreement alone, so many other agreements where they talk about how Parliament, they are, well, let family understand what in the law say, what in the Constitution say. Because one thing we would already disappointed in this forum, and I'm not saying most people they will get, a law we talk about the right to access information. But we don't need that law here, because anything, any document we then lay in a Parliament, what in they mean lay? A document we then submit to Parliament for public scrutiny to our representative and MP. If for their record, people are able to access them. Why we not get them thing and they, and we not able to look at the agreement and now they bring more questions and answers. Over to you, sir, before I go into this agreement, we will go where government provide $124 million US for this Lungi conference complex, as they call it. We get the three parts. You get the high capacity convention hall, you get a presidential villa and presidential villas, and also an adjoining hotel.
Thank you, Mr. Mengot. Yeah, let me just remind the audience that next Sunday, because of the playing of the World Cup, when next Sunday we will not be broadcasting, because a good many of us, we the presenters and we guests and we listeners then go on for we watch the World Cup, and this we broadcasting time go run right into the time where the World Cup is taking place. So for that reason, intermittently I will be reminding you when each time it crossed my mind for say don't look forward to hearing us next Sunday, because we're not going to broadcast. That said, when I wrote to Mr. Mengot tell we about the major issues then we will get to talk about. These are trending issues. This conference that supposedly, I think it's supposed to take place anyway, very soon. So this we get some comments for make or for some information for just discuss. So we will try to see how well constructive we will get it going. I know back home we are sensitive because we in democracy, does not seem to take into account that one of the vital elements of democracy is free speech and differences of opinion or diversity of ideas. So we will not to put much value on that. We will say democracy means oppression of free speech, oppression of the right to assemble, or the right to express oneself. So, but it is what it is. We'll therefore talk about that, and we'll raise some constitutional issue and some of the restrictions that are being placed on the right of movement, and of course, also the right of property ownership and how to protect them. Well, I think there's an element of people losing their property without due compensation also. But that said, I will go back to my co-host and just ask her we'll move on. And let me also apologize for starting very late today. We've been faced with some technical difficulties. If not one difficulty, we'll get multiple difficulties, but we'll resolve them, we hope, and then we hope this program will go on without any glitch for the next 1.5 to 2 hours. With that said, let me go back to my co-host, Mr. Mengo.
Okay.
Back to you.
One of the things where I want to talk about this complex with this Congress Center, it proves the way government wants something for happen. If they put the right resources and personnel, it will happen. It will be timely, and it will meet the desired objective. So for a start, this is a record because the agreement go Parliament in February this year. So if we take from February to now, March, April, May, June, July. In fact, let me say the whole thing will take 6 to 9 months. But in less than 6 months, we don't get this center, we'll call the Julius Maada Bio Conference Center. And what you want to look at here, now what's in the government tell me, and what's in the reality. Government say, number one, this na agreement where government not put penny. It's a $124 million deal. So if government not put penny, how does it come about? We want to look at the law. Because we want to look at two different laws where it relates to this project. First, the Constitution. We talk about how government, they present then loan agreement here to Parliament, and waiting at Parliament the whole. Then we want to talk about the public-private partnership, because government say, then a loan provided for build this complex, and government not to then take the loan. They are a guarantor. So if government not to then take the loan, who that take the loan? The partner in this now a company called FB Group. And this company is based in Turkey. So it means the loan was secured for do the complex by the company, because if not construction, they need money. We even said and bring a cargo plane. We bring all length here. So if government now sign the guarantee for this loan, why is it a PPP? So one look at two sides. I will go first to the Constitution, because some of there was concern in Parliament from the opposition about the timing and the relevance of this. But since the government get majority in Parliament for approve their majority here, their loan here, Now the majority, whatever the majority say, regardless of the opposition, the loan will be approved. But we always do things round. For here, we want to do clarity. Last start by make Fambule know waiting at the constitutional provision and foresee if government do a right. Under section 118 of the constitution, it says Parliament may by resolution passed in that behalf and supported by votes of majority of all the members of Parliament authorize government to enter into an agreement for the granting of a loan out of any public funds or for public account. So what in the law say? Now Parliament, government get for go to Parliament and say, well, we want to take a loan. Even if they not take a loan directly, but if somebody they take a loan on behalf of government, a government they sign that guarantee there, it means the government get a liability. There's some risk element. Because if the first way they take the loan on behalf of the government, it default, that nigga for fall back to the government. But the agreement, they say, then take this loan for a bank. The unknown is that we don't know whose bank. Then take the loan. Then it continue under that section there. It said, when that agreement day, where government don't enter into, it says shall be laid before Parliament. What do you mean by shall be laid before Parliament? It means say the agreement for go before Parliament, and now if you get Parliament, it means say if a day now the Parliament website, because it's not a classified document, because the only document for deal with state security and other things, now then classified where Parliament have put. So Parliament owe it to the people for make that documents they available. Even the opposition, the deputy chief whip complain say, most of the time, the agreement here, they're not getting the document in time. For let them able look into the document for see whether or not the right thing government they do. And if that be the case, they're not able to do a complete scrutiny because with this deal, there are 3 agreements in one. One, there's the agreement for the loan, because they get for show who does not take the loan, the bank wouldn't take the loan, waiting at the government liability and waiting at the risk. The next agreement, now the agreement for say, if na public-private partnership, waiting at the agreement between government and then people are the biller. Are they going to be the managers? Is it a BOT, build, operate, and transfer? That is not clear. Then the third one, members say there is a hotel complex. With the area say, then they call it Lungi Hilton or whatever. Then there must be an agreement with the Hilton group of hotel. And if that agreement is it between the government and the Hilton group of hotel? Or is it between the government and the financiers? Or is it between the government and the construction company? What you want to know, the construction company and the PPP partner, are they the one and the same people? Right? So if you go back to this agreement, it say, what in the law say? It say when an act of parliament, we go into this agreement, the terms and conditions of that loan. Now, so the law so the terms and conditions of the loan shall be laid before Parliament and shall not come into operation unless it has been approved by a resolution of Parliament. So if they take the loan, was the terms and conditions of that loan, albeit government being a guarantor, was it laid before Parliament? If that is the case, enough for kind to force until Parliament approval. Did Parliament approve the loan? If so, who is the person or the people that will take the loan and which bank? What would they raise then question and for allay the fears of the public? Say no chokuku jumuku don't kaisai. We believe in a government that is transparent and fair. And yes, we support any development where government they bring, but government have to be open to the people. Then he say under section 5, subparagraph B, he say monies from any fund by whatever name called established for this purpose of payment or repayment, whether in whole or in part, may be used for payment. So in other words, whatever financial obligation whoever gets to them people here, right? It therefore be make known. So let's stop there before I go into waiting at the PPP agreement. Over to you, sir.
I want people to really understand that it is really hard for when we see something like this, we'll not try to ask questions. And as a matter of fact, your education will mean anything if you just accept these things as they are without raising any issues. And I'm sure the policymakers then for expect that, then for know that, so they should not be offended by it. But when we talk about the FP group, and we talk about private-public partnership, the public partnership, I presume, is that of the government with a private entity. And if I'm wrong, Mr. Mengot will correct me. But so with a private entity, one doesn't really need to say or tell those in charge that this should be made open, because the whole essence of a democracy is transparency. And you can't make something transparent after the fact. It has to be before and during, not after. So the fact that this idea was conceived or was mentioned, it may have been conceived years ago, the idea of coming up with a presidential villa in Lungi, or at Lungi, whichever way we put them. The idea that it came, but officially it became an official discussion in February of this year. And within this short period of time, they want a project that on paper will be worth $124 million to be done within a time span of about 6 to 8 months. Actually, 6 months is just remarkable. They'll put it with it. So now we get all the questions there for us, because you can't go anywhere and find and look for them and get the information that one really needs. But Mikos talk about in 1980, we began what you call the establishment or the construction of the OAU village, most of which are been disposed of after the conference some 20 years ago or more. So you see now the OAU village may be in existence by name as a location, but not by name as an official place for government activities. So now it's indeed correct. History is about to repeat itself. We are trying to build a similar center or area of trying to host a conference of the region, just like the OAU. This has to do with the Ecowas. And history is about to repeat itself in the sense that, I mean, it may be different, yeah, because this is not called OAU village, but the characteristics of what is about to happen is the same thing. And that did not put President Stevens now a good light now that he is no more alive. But when you teach you Peking or Grand Peking in history, you can't lose the fact that the negatives are far away outweigh the usefulness of that conference there in Sierra Leone. And it looked like this money was borrowed in a hurry. But then the government is signing as a guarantor with a company called FB Group, presumably a Turkish company, but is that a company that was formed? So what assets of this company that the government knows of will cause them for guarantee the loan? What's at the source of the loan? Whose bank did they go to? What's at the interest rate? What's at the terms of payments? How soon was that debt going to be owed? And does the holding of that meeting day so important that it outweighs the debt or the responsibility or the liability that we're going to get into? So there are so many questions to be asked. So now, are there Australians of this private company? If so, who are they? I mean, Australian shareholders. So very little has been said other than there is a rush to build this center. Now, talking about a presidential villa, there are also, we have to point out some constitutional violations. See, this is, to me, we are writing the law where we really don't take governance very seriously. And in government, they make people look like they just don't know what in the talk about. Because I could see where in some quarters people they say, they were the knowledge and the talk about constitution.
Sorry to interrupt you. Lord, just make something. I just want to make something clear when you talk about the presidential villas, right?
Yeah.
Because one, I believe within the complex, you get a presidential villa for we own president, right?
Then you get
but
villas for the other
remember, say we also get a presidential villa at the airport complex already, or we call that the presidential lounge. Right. So the key question is, if they build 15 villas, which I suppose say each villa now for one president from Ecowas, you go get 15 states. After this conference done, what use will those 15 villas be put into? And how do you manage such an asset for stop asset deterioration? Or is it going to yield any income for pay towards the debt and the interest? That is what I want to clarify. Because the other one, you can see the hotel is a 100-room hotel. Fine, we need a hotel in Lungi. Then you get the conference center. Even with the hotel itself, you get for look at, they say go contribute to tourism. Is it the hotel only attract tourists? This is another question. Over to you, sir. Sorry about the interruption.
No, I appreciate it. I think it's a worthwhile interruption. So, yeah, because when you build a complex of, and then $124 million US dollars at this time of the economy, when a lot of that money they can be put into other use, I think the government owes it to the people for just explain to the people what this, why is this a priority? Why holding the conference is even a priority in Sierra Leone, okay? And why, and even holding it in Sierra Leone, why couldn't we just build a conference center? A center with parking lots. I mean, top-notch center with parking lots, sufficient parking lots and security, adequate security activities or facilities to protect not only presidents coming from other countries, but for protect people who would choose for stay there in the event in the end they want to use them for any other purpose. So, but I'm not sure doesn't the government owe it to the people to explain why it's going to be a complex, and why are we going to have presidential villas, and if there are 15 presidents coming, if we talk about to build a villa for a president, not necessarily our president, that will entail a lot for each president, because you will get, they have to make adequate security arrangements, not only what would they provide, but where that president they come with for logistic arrangements for each president, people, you know, and so on and so forth. So then there's an issue about confiscation and demolition of pre-existing property, then, that is location, which again, I mean, we can't, the government is not doing, governments, not to this particular government alone, Sierra Leone governments have not been doing right by the people. They go, they take people's lands, and usually these are poor people. These are young people that are not to the western area. Then take the land, then now they go through the policy or the practice of eminent domain, you know, where government can take property through legal means. Because when I say eminent domain, it not means say government just get the power. That power there is subject to limitations. That power there is subject to questioning. That power there can be challenged. So that's why the process of eminent domain exists. So a government declares that we want this piece or area or this property for the good of the community. Government has to go to court and justify that, but we see power as that is unnecessary. Now we get power, which in government one government takes. So we undermine the very law or the practice. So we get all them well-educated lawyers, them attorney general, this, that, but these guys are not following any principle of law. They are not following anything. So why have the laws? I'm still complaining about the jury system that was gotten rid of. You know, just for convenience, we just keep destroying practices, customs, protections, guardrails. We just take the shortcut. You then are going to cross, you want to go up, but then you say, well, I get a helicopter, you know, make her fly over people and this and that. You know, that kind of mentality today. You know, we try for, we not think that the law matters at all. With the past time, they just go through the motion. Like Mr. Mangodog narrates steps that should be taken, where all those steps followed. Was the money borrowed before even anything was laid in Parliament? You know, so if we keep this going, we're never going to ever catch up with other African countries like Ghana and maybe Liberia, you know, for sure, Kenya, Botswana, you know, and many other countries that are doing so well, and they are held accountable, because the whole essence of doing things the right way, they forget a government in check, because the power of a government is very, 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 very large and powerful. So if government not get, if there's no accountability, and the accountability starts with the courts, the court system that is so weak cannot hold government accountable. Judges do not have the backbone or the nerve for restrained governments. You see, so when we talk about democracy, then there is a thing about, for this conference, there will be restraint on movements, on association of people. For just a conference, we're not in a war zone. So there are a lot of things that we have to just raise question about. And government does the do, because the power is there, and people are not challenging some of them things. So this conference is going to come, it's going to be held, regardless of how people feel. And then you don't have to be a a rocket scientist to know, say, when it's all over, those properties, as we've seen with many, many other properties, up country, as well as in the western areas, houses that were owned by the government will be eventually taken over by certain individuals who have inside information and so on. You see, so it makes a mockery of us claiming, because if you go restrict association, free speech, the right to assemble, if you go restrict all anything, well, what is left of the democracy? So some of the things here, we just bring that up for no say, for ask some questions. The government-private partnership, who are the partners? Who are the partners to that FB group day? How old is that group? And whether it's a Sierra Leonean group, but it's supposedly a Turkish group, and how many Sierra Leoneans are members or partners or shareholders in that group? Back to you, Mr. Mengot.
Okay, we don't talk about the first part when at the Constitution. The argument is, we're hearing from the government spokesman, the pressman. We hear also from the director of communications say, this is not private sector involvement. Government not going to put money. And then call it a PPP. What's in a PPP? Public-private partnership. And we get a law, na Salon. When at the PPP Act, did they follow that? And I go refer to the law. Because we get the PPP Act 2010. And under the Public-Private Partnership Act 2010, it talk about, say, before government go into any of the agreement here, it talk about how public-private partnership things then for be dealt with. Because number one, it talk about the establishment of a public-private partnership council. When at section 25 and 26, other than for the that council day, the Minister for Finance, Minister for Trade, representative of the Office of the President, yes, then they because the supervising authority, now the project units and the President, the Attorney General, the Chief Executive Officer of the Sierra Leone Investment and Export Promotion Agency, we're now on our National Investment Board, a representative of civil society, and then minister responsible for local government. So these are the council. And what in the law say? It say, before they consider for approval or modification, or then get for make sure say, the council get function, then most of them PPP agreement here, they get for be open to competition. So in other words, government get for look at alternatives. But if you get a PPP agreement with a preferred bidder, which is like this, because the FB group is a preferred bidder, you get for think about what thing they bring to the table. Because you know, can't say in a preferred bidder, you come, then you say no more construction skills, no more you get. Government don't give the land. But then at the same government, for go give a guarantee for a loan, where they go check for the project. Why not the other way around? Why not government applying for the loan directly and advertise for construction company they will get the skills who can do the loan? So if now one company now go check, the company doesn't get the financial. Because what are they bringing into the table under the PPP agreement? They bring in construction skills. Is that justify a PPP agreement according to the law? That is my own question. Because what's in the law say, the council ain't for meet, they get for get a special meeting, right? They get for talk about waiting the contracting authority they provide, when are the government, because you're not the land government provide. And that land they will then provide, even before they give the government the land, we get the National Land Compensation Act, Land Commission Act 2022. I believe say that area there, it's under a chiefdom. So if government want to acquire land, it have to go to the chiefdom commission. So there are lots of things that we will put in place. We're given the speed of this thing will happen, people in disadvantage. So the PPP Act will get, I don't feel to say now after they don't go when people then begin ask question, then they tell us in a PPP. But there's a law dealing with PPP, public-private partnership. How they define project, how they approve and through the council. Then from the council, you get to go through parliament. But it seems as if now the agreement no more just go say, well, we don't get this agreement, we want ratification. So again, government can explain to we why they feel to say the PPP route where they take now the most appropriate. Because at the end of the day, government ain't get 100% risk because the construction company, once they don't construct, they will get for pay them. Because the skills they will they use and the materials, not to their own resources, not from the loan. And who they guarantee the loan at government. Is it a good arrangement for the people them? Then now look at this conference now waiting to happen. Already there are some fringe meetings. And then fringe meetings, and they don't already start from this week. All the one they take place inside Freetown. Now the Bintumani Conference Center. All this complex here now waiting to talk about. Now one day no more, they get for use them. When next week Sunday. Just one day. Then after that, what happens? Then we also see certain changes them will take place. It's a coincidence or it's related. And I would like for bring down the to fumble the notice. When there's something serious where people they don't begin talk about. If we remember say, we been get an agreement na salon where people and they pay $25 tax when a security tax in and out. But then all of a sudden, on the 3rd of July, we get a press release from the Minister of Internal Affairs. We talk say, the ministry wishes to inform the general public that all traveling passengers that following a ministerial directive, the collection of 25 United States dollar airport security fee at the Freetown Airport will be temporarily suspended, effective Monday, 6th July 2026. And we believe, say, that airport tax day, they mean tell we say in a secure report, when the company where they provide the airport service. And then again is subject to agreement. An agreement where we remember sometime where then they been get for go parliament. So if the parliament authorize that agreement there, a ministerial directive cannot be used to suspend the agreement without parliamentary approval. And now look at the reason why they give. According to the reason, it said the administrative measure has been instituted while the current contract framework undergoes a comprehensive review. So who therefore review the contract framework? Now Parliament. So now Parliament now when they review them, now they go say we hold them or we suspend them. And until we say the strategic pause is intended to facilitate the completion of an ongoing independent special audit by Audit Service Commission and to evaluate a more seamless integrated collection system that eliminates public inconvenience for travel passengers. A lot of big talk. So now also they try for tell we, when they introduce this tax, when you go inside, because you don't go, you dey pay na a bank day. You show your receipt before you come on that door. So how come around this term, now they say audit commission say they can't look at how it been the inconvenience with the passenger then. So let them suspend them first. And the reason why then they suspend them, and then say that 3 days notice no more than give. But a ministerial directive cannot override the execution of a contract which was approved by Parliament. Now, only Parliament get that right there for amend or review that contract there, because not to the minister get power for award them. The contract was approved by Parliament. Now, hold on there. Let's see if you want to more pan some of these issues are raised.
Oh yeah, but basically you've made the point that a minister cannot override parliamentary involvement or authorization. Yet that's what we see now, and that we see don't happen. So
before you go further, there is a comment. I don't know if you go and read that comment today.
Yeah. Have you guys inquired about any insurance attached to the complex? Let us don't forget, Sierra Leone has deep-rooted connection with the fire incident, as even a state house was not spared in the recent days, which is true. That we have a record of fire catching up everywhere. The state house included was on fire.
No, but Mr. Shilon, just one thing I would like to point out before we read the next one. What is not clear, after the conference done, who that go manage that complex there? Because there are 3 aspects. You get the hotel, you get the conference center, you get the ministerial villa, the presidential. Who that go manage that complex there? Now, posting the way they manage them, and what revenue would it generate to repay the loan when I wouldn't stand guarantee of? But I hold on there. There's another comment.
Yeah, why did the government no the complete the national stadium, instead go build an Ecowas center in few months? Well, the national stadium is another issue, because there is but I think the essence of the question is the national stadium is being renovated. That of itself has run into a debacle, in the sense that they are now saying there is insufficient amount of money. I think there was $40 million presumably awarded for that renovation day. Now I think they're almost out of it, and they are saying they're going to leave part of it incomplete and will be left for later decision. So I would think this person is saying, well, why go borrow this money for go build complex center? And then a complex center, the type of what you would describe presidential villas, hotel complex, and all this kind of stuff. When we go, we'll get a stadium that will not finish it, and for which there was $40 million available. Then they're asking what has happened to the money. Of course, before they get into the renovation, there was a feasibility study made, the projection, which I'm sure that money they also a loan with government guarantee, then say it could take 40 million for doing, or about. Let me not say definitively. Now they're saying it's not going to be completed with the amount of money at hand. So I think this question does go to that.
Now the stadium now financed by the Chinese government. Yeah, because
as a loan or as a grant. Is it a loan or a grant?
That is what not clear, but I think say the stadium one, it is not a loan. I think it's a grant.
Well, we want to be sure.
Even these are some of the clarification we want. But the stadium one that the Chinese government, they provide the finance. We have to look at waiting at the basis, because there's nothing like a free lunch. There's another comment there, sir. Yeah,
this person said, I thought Mambu said it's not a loan, but it's not a loan referring to what? to the stadium now because somebody has brought into play the stadium or the complex that we're talking about in Lungi. So if this person will clarify the question, I thought Mambu said it was not a loan. And that would be helpful for us to give a more correct answer. Please, ask the question again in a clearer form where we will know what the answer for be. Okay, but then also, just very quickly, what I want to say, the $124 million, I'm sure, because if we know the process of how they acquire loan for any construction, the land cost is involved. And the land cost, there must have been something presented to the bank or the group or the source of the loan for say, there are so many private properties involved. And they would all already reach agreement or make a reasonable projection for them property in terms of just compensation. So all of that no go there in 124 million people. Can they just tell us, and they said that there was some pre-existing structures there at the site. So these were structures owned by people, like I said earlier, that they've demolished, where these people given the opportunity to make an appraisal of their property by competent appraisers, or where they just use government power for destroy their property. And if so, are they going to be adequately compensated? And I'm sure all of that will have to come from this 124 million. It would be nice to know who these people are, how much they receive, if they receive adequate compensation for. Adequate compensation also implies the current market value. Okay, so government no go on their own just decide, say, somebody in land is worth X amount of dollar and pay on that. And that person, under strict construction of eminent domain, and if we follow the law in Sierra Leone as it is, that an individual has a right to say no and go to court and challenge the correctness of that appraisal they own in property. So we know say they don't destroy some property, and we don't know if any of these people have been paid, and we don't even know if any of them will be paid, even if there's a promise to pay. So these are all, and when you look at it, any government not supposed to function that way, because we the people who should be concerned. I know the ones with the power at hand, then figure say, well, a power is right. So therefore, now we get power, we can use it any kind of way we want. But that just puts we in a circle, or in a cycle, not circle, in a cycle, where you just go round and round and round and round. Because when you get that belief there for say, that we get power, so we can use them any way we see fit, sounds good, and you could do it. But it keeps the country on stagnation. The country not to go anywhere. We just go round and round and round and round and round. So if we go, and then this is where all the things connect. Now, nobody has where, if they demolish your property, where do you go to complain? Who compels the government to make payments? When the members of parliament, some of the issues raised by Mr. Mengot, I'm sure they did not take time to look into those things. They probably just went along if in fact they were consulted the proper way. So there are lots and lots and lots of issues. This is not to APC, SAPP business. This is just trying to make a country go forward and create employment. Now there is a $124 million project being done. It would be nice for the government to tell you, say, this project at the moment has 2,000 people employed. It would be nice for us to get some figures on that. And when it's finished, it will be a complex that will retain, at the very least, so many people. And Mr. Mengot asked the question, so would I go manage the complex? But before that, to me, I go wonder, what use is the complex going to be put? So when you get villas, you get 15 villas. This is like hotel. When you get 15 villas at presidential level, the economy of Sierra Leone, can it sustain that, even if we put them into rental? I mean, so because it would seem to me this would be very expensive deal as before than the bill at a presidential level. So any foreign leader we can make will feel comfortable that it meets in status and in stature as that of a president of a country. And considering the size of Sierra Leone in relation to the other countries then, I'm sure they get more prestigious accommodation for people then, or for people of presidential level. So there's a whole lot going on here. $124 million. But there's very little one can go and take a look at and see how it's going. So we just need for really raise some questions as we are raising right now. Back to you, Mr. Mengo.
One thing I want to clarify for you, I want to look at two things first. The first thing, we have to make it simple for people and say we're not just the talk because one talk plenty. You and I know, nobody know there, even a salon, or even in their country over there, where you gonna bank for loan. Yeah? If you go for loan for do business, the bank get for know whose kind of business you get for do. You know so? Before they give the loan.
Yes.
Now, the bank get for know how you go raise income for pay back that loan. Day. So like that facility here, if I don't do economic progression, which use you go get for put their facility then day after the end of the conference for let it generate enough income for pay back that loan day. Whoever is taking that loan has to be paying either annually, and that annual payment they will be part of the capital lend plus interest. You can't forget a business plan. And even this agreement not tell we who they go manage the complex. They only talk about the hotel, which is just one part of it. Then you also say the conference center go generate, it go make Sierra Leone be more competitive in attracting international conference people to rent out. Did they do any marketing strategy for no almost 10 kind of conference that they take place in the region every year, waiting at the costs of hosting a conference and almost money they will get. There's a lot of unknown. So this again is similar to the same 200 about the airport. So let's take 270 million, build a new airport. We don't build the airport there within 2-3 years we will attract 1 million passengers throughput. We'll get more airlines. But what has happened? There are less airlines coming to Sierra Leone than when we not be build the airport. So I'm afraid the same thing of concern with this 124 million. Now let's go to land disputes. Under the act they say,
Mr. Mengo, that doesn't interrupt you. The caller called back. I mean, saying he was referring to the Lungi project. Because we just say, I thought Mambu said it was not a loan. But we're understanding it's a loan. It's a $124 million loan, not so?
Yeah, it's a loan because now go back to, right? Now go back to what you get, what the finance minister say. Yeah? Now the finance minister now get for listen to. Okay. Mr. Sheku Ahmed Fantamadi Bangura today tabled the agreement for parliamentary approval, outlining plans for a conference complex that would include high-capacity convention hall, a presidential villa, and adjoining hotel. He explained that the state would not directly fund the construction, but would guarantee a loan to be secured by a private developer.
There you go.
That was what the finance minister said to Parliament, and it's on record. You know? So the finance minister said, now loan was secured by the private developer. And I believe, say, the private developer Now this FB group from Turkey. So if the FB group goes secure that loan day,
We guarantee
then
the
Salon
loan.
government serve as a guarantor.
Yeah.
It means that the FB group go don't do a business plan for make use of them complex, and after the conference, forget enough money for pay back the loan plus interest.
Yeah.
Because it
I
has
think
to be commercially viable.
Okay, that answer, I believe that answers the caller or the commentator in question. But if you get any more, we're still going, so you can call back or send in a.
Now,
Yeah.
another point we raised, because me and man we elect for go to reference and laws of Sierra Leone, not to me right time, because National Land Commission Act 2022, it talk about land disputes. Let read what he say. He will answer your question. Section 77, subparagraph 1. It said the commission, so the National Land Commission, shall establish a grievance redress mechanism whereby a person can challenge decisions of the commission in respect of for land which he has a right or claim. Right? Any grievance mechanism established by the commission shall be effective. Well, I'll go to subparagraph 3 when I approach to this one. 77.3. It says where a person is deprived of a land tenure right by the government for a public purpose, compensation shall be provided to that person irrespective of the resolution provided by any grievance redress mechanism established by the commission. So in other words, what government did by demolishing those people and property adjacent to the complex without compensation, because then for determining that it's illegal. Because remember, these are people who are already in that settlement. So they can acquire land next to build the complex. Then they realize it because they're near the complex, then for demolish the property for security purposes.
Well,
And the security purpose, now because you get the heads of state to the camp. And for me, now when I see the member of parliament for that area, when the opposition member then being interviewed, say yes, well, then and now then they talk to government, let government look at compensation. That is after the fact. What will they try for establishing, according to the law, government may not get a land deal. They before they negotiate with them people and they before they even build the complex. So you know what tell we say, when I don't build on, and I realize say, them people are in place, now close to the complex, now security threat, Lord demolition.
well, this is the trend.
Now make sure get a land, this land act was so this land commission, each chiefdom, get a chiefdom land committee, where then government may for negotiate with. So it seems as if the very law which was passed by the government, then bypass them and do this thing. A law member say, this complex, now one day no more than the user. When at the Sunday.
Well, let us say 1 month. Let us say 1 year. Does it make any sense if that's the only use? Let us give them the extreme benefit of the doubt. You know, if that doesn't border on waste. But my gripe has always been Parliament for respect the laws within the past. They're not immune from laws. Then they enforce the try for shortcut the system. Any law where Parliament passed on Salon. They are the #1 violators of the laws that were in the past. They don't even comply with any rules. And unfortunately, we get an example recently when the United States president, there was this thing again about Ebola recently in the past couple of months. When United States gets a base in Kenya, but then still subject to the jurisdiction of the Kenyan sovereignty and Kenyan government. President Trump has said, okay, there, we know the deadliness of of Ebola. So we don't want whether then they try for treat or whatever come overseas, because then you start a whole series of spreading the disease. Because the person get for come on passenger plane, you don't know if anybody will catch him. Then they get for meet officials then at the airport. You don't know how people, and say, okay, why not deal with the problem where it is? Take that people and they bring it in kind of with base in Kenya. President Ruto say, fine, Mr. President, you know, one favor deserve another. I don't get no problem with that. You can bring them kind and can treat them on a base now. We don't government not get anything for this kind of on a base. Or that they pay with for. But yet, civil activists then were able to go to court and challenge the legality of that agreement today between President Ruto and the United States, or President Trump. And the court intervened, and the court order or introduced an injunction, which we hardly ever hear about now. We own country. We not get that. The law provides for that, because Kenya, we all are the same British system will be there under. So there are laws to that effect. So the Kenya court intervened and say, yeah. And the whole essence of injunctive relief, now for just stop things the way where they are. Let the court take time for look into it, and act both sides will get a dispute for explain why the activity of the other person should not be allowed to continue, or why if that activity they continue, it will be what you call irreparable harm, you know, harm that cannot be repaired, you know. Then the court can look into it and say, no, we think say there is adequate remedy at law, so we will allow the project to go on, or yeah, we believe say if then do what them get for do, the harm will be irreparable. We get such provision in our law, but our lawyers don't use that at all. You know, they hear about injunctive relief. They know, I don't know why they don't, but I know why the courts probably, the lawyers are not too excited to pursue that, and I know why the courts are not, because the courts are not equipped. They don't have the power to stop the government from doing anything. So how is it that Kenya will get independence much later than we, and we will all come out of the British system? Kenya, we want people in the left Sierra Leone go try for help for develop. Then get legal system in place that one can rely on, that you can go to as a place of last resort. You know, we've seen the Kenya courts has suspended the presidential election and order the government for redo an election that of which a winner had already been declared. So why aren't you making the effort then they? And what? So when we talk about the legal profession, so we get for do more than that, because we can't just complain all the time, you know. But go ahead, Mr.
Okay,
Genga.
talking about that, another problem with this bring, we also within the context of really talk for legal challenge, we realize also the Civil Aviation Authority also put out a press release where they say, I think say during around that 10-day where the president didn't come, they make sure say the cargo terminal at the airport closed for 3 days. 3 days. So if you're a business person, let's say you import perishable goods, then they say you know for go do transaction at the cargo terminal. So who compensates you for loss of business? These are something, how should they say, where they can challenge, because you know we just put a blanket ban on people not using the cargo terminal. Not only are you restricting people's movements for do business, you're also incurring loss for the airport.
Yeah, the negative.
Remember, I said the airport.
You are negative.
Not only that, the airport. Yeah, the airport was also subject to a loan agreement. So, in a loss of income, to the airport people the way they operate the airport. Then the most galling part of it, now for say during that 10 days, they're not going to allow people the way for go meet, like say you get post where they come, you get for go collect an airport. You are not allowed in the terminal. Even the people the way they use the airport, the passenger, then say they go drive, then for drive, then carry them go to that old terminal, then they bust them into the airport complex. So is it a state of emergency or what? So this restriction of movement and also stopping people for do their business is subject to legal challenges.
Correct.
But before you comment that, somebody just make a comment. If you can read
There's
that
a question. I will read that, and then we have a caller on the line. I believe this caller is saying, say, Mister, you as an expert in aviation and your experience in airport management, is it ideal to have a conference center in the perimeter of the airport? That's a question posed to you. But hold tight on that. There's a caller on the phone. Let me answer in call first, then we'll get back to this, if you don't mind. Mr. Mengen.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Who's to call from?
Yes, sir. This is for the Mustafa again today.
Mr. Mustafa.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. You see, this is not the result of the way people are not giving to political parties like he. This is exactly what you get. They're not people are just do what they want, what excites them. The president now like a Pekin waiting inside candy shop. You don't see this Ecowas business. They don't. It's not the best thing it would not happen in life. And if we move a gear or a step further, what we go. What Ecowas get for benefits? Salon.
Good question.
Because look the countries themselves. 4 countries they say they don't come out. The one that we did the Uda, we get Alassane Ouattara. We don't go. Now I'm going to die now. We get again now Togo. We are the same family. Now Benin, the same family. Not the change. We alone organize some kind of election like this. Now the president of power. Nigeria back now their own election day and that. All of them things that we put them together. Where this man they take this thing, so look at the decision what is supposed to make. Then they can build presidential villas. Well, I think you can all one day me. I know they pay attention to what the government is saying because it pain me. Pastor, now they really think they actually make presidential. What about the nonsense? When they go na Abuja or other country for Ecowas summit na Accra, then get presidential villas in there. Or they go na hotel. Papa, this thing we get from one of us show because the guy knows they get base where people unless they not eat for 2 weeks before election and we still vote for them. They not care. The opinion, public opinion, no matter. I do what I want to do. This Ecowas business, I will be Ecowas chairman. And what? And so what? You don't be Ecowas chairman 1 year ago. Younger, Guinea, they don't take over part of the country, they continue to take over some part of the country. They not talk no word about that. Before you say, oh, you don't find where you can, where be chairman, then they say, what you want now for talk about. Now, this same person, they go count out people the way they say, after this ECOWAS summit, what will be the use of that facility? So then they can't host this thing every month or every 6 months. So where then go? Who's other people that they go use that holiday? Because it will likely be an expensive something for hire. So meanwhile, I look at all the things there. I don't see why people put optimism. We should be talk about change of law. Say law will not sit down But when them change the law, they are inside our book. So now don't count on accountability in governance. So what do you say is spend 240? They're not going for us can just no, or 120. They're not going for us can just no count receipts because the parliamentary people them and therefore agree with government. When they can't build that terminal, say 270 million, or the general talks, let them audit them. They don't want to talk about that. No, they will not talk about it. So we therefore look at the problem. The problem here is all what with this issue now because political party they don't take a whole of the country. And people they don't agree to that. So it doesn't matter what people they do in the office, not to that they put in the office. Because they get loyal people that will be say they go vote for them anyhow. And then prefer to sleep with hunger or they not get outside and sleep, medicine not the, water not the, road they not the, nothing not the way they move life not the, but still we still not go no more. Anyway, I just like give this small observation. No, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mustafa. It's refreshing hearing from you.
Welcome.
So please keep listening, and I understand what you mean, that sometimes Americans can get a saying, they say, what you don't know won't hurt you. So certain things, if you never read them, it not go bother you and raise your blood pressure. You're right. But we'll still encourage you for keep up with what's happening. Let me go to my colleague, Mr. Mengot, because he gets ready. Somebody asked him a question, say, as an expert of aviation, does it make sense for build a conference center within the perimeter of an airport? That was the question, Mr. Mengot. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, this is not to do with my aviation expert. This is to do with another area where I get a lot of which comes to urban planning.
There you go.
Now, let's look at Lungi, because I can go by history. Remember when we started, there was this whole thing about the Lungi Bridge, the whole complex. And for justify the bridge, we were told that Lungi is going to be a second center, like a second city, where you get for build the airport complex, you get for build the bridge, you get for get hotels. Then all of a sudden, there's a denial say the Lungi Bridge not being priority. Okay, law accept, although it's on record. So it was one of the things at the first time. But then fast track, if we remember, when the Minister of Local Government announced about creating two new districts, in that package of announcement day, I don't know if you remember the district, I think it's be, yeah, 2 districts. Then when they talk about Freetown, for divide Freetown, they also say Lungi for be a second city. And what characterizes a second city? Before you do that city day, this question where the caller asked, although it's long-winded, a place like Lungi where you get a major airport complex, Lungi forget a structural plan. Because if you get a structural plan, that plan they include this issue of the conference center and the hotel. I don't see anything wrong with that. But also, now the piecemeal plan. So for end this part, we get one video and play. We will tell the caller for bring and for we. The control room. Because the other thing where they can unveil during this Ecowas heads of state, now this new logistics center, where I feel to say, okay, and if the control room can play that video for we, because the other thing again where we get impact on development and life na Lungi.
Okay,
Control room, if you can hear us.
No, may I interject just a little bit? There's someone who has been on hold. Let me just answer that, then control room can play that one, if you don't mind.
No problem.
There's okay. Hello, caller. Please give me your name and tell what you did on your mind. Or what's on your mind?
Good evening, Mengo. Shilon. This is Abdul call from Netherlands. Long time.
All right, Mr. Abdul. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to work on this discussion with the hosting of this conference, the loanway government that's guarantor for the developer. According to which I list hearing from the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Minister of Kenya and Timothy Kaba. Then they say now 9 no, it's on 9. So the 71 million. Now they stand at guarantor for where the Turkish company go get as a loan, then spend 15. So then your initial seed money.
What are the when you say then spend? What are the government?
The developer, the Turkish company. 15 million. Then put them. Then you see the money with the start.
Okay.
Then the loan at 71. So make a total of 86. So then therefore run them for a period of time since now PP before ever hand over to government. But me own fear, just like waiting una don't talk, at the development. One, we need good road. Then secondly, one impediment will be the bridge, because easy access to Freetown. That will be another big impediment for future users of that complex. Then the question where I go ask, go inside Bintumani. I'm not going inside Bintumani. I'm not saying that Bintumani they host many foreign citizens. Bintumani not get presidential suit, because I know say hotels and if they get both hotels and they get presidential suit. Where you gonna say then this suit here now for a president, prime minister, ambassador, we go carry. I don't know if they can get them. Mr. Mengo, you don't in project development and all the. I know sometimes you're able for both standards. They don't get presidential suit, because if we get Bintumani hotel, we get presidential suit. I sure say Bintumani get more than that number of rooms. Say we're able to accommodate all them people in the end. They all get as the conference center, because now Lungi now just one day they get for user. The ministerial, the security, all at Bintumani they get for. So now Lungi now just the presidential meeting on the 9th. So it kind of confusing. Though I'm not there against alone hosting it, but at the aftermath after the hosting, just like what we see after the hosting of OAD in 1980, then presidential villa, then turn white elephant. At the end of the day, private people and take them, civil servants, servants and then grab and buy that. So then again, government don't stand as guarantee for this loan, this 70 million. Then after the summit, how many events then therefore they get, let them people and they recoup their money, and governments then give a government the property because of PPP. So that is what my concern. And I don't I'm just skeptical about whether they're really for pull their money within the desired agreement where they don't get. So I'll just say take my conclusion and maybe I will call back later.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chino, one comment is that now look at figures. The finance minister go parliament to go seek parliamentary approval for a loan of 124 million. That is what is on record. Now then the parliament approved. But if later on then they can't tell we say the developer they put 15 million, then the 71 million loan then at 86 million. If you take 86 million from 124 million, yeah, there's a difference of 38 million. Where is that going through? How can that happen? Even the 15 million what the developer then they put, is it money they bring in upfront or is it part of the loan? So in other words, they don't get the 15 million. It's all loan package. So I don't see. I mean, we government spokesman, the minister, they know they do it good way. If we don't get announcement say, government go seek approval in the parliament. What's in the figure? It says 124 million. It's on record. This is why I blame our parliamentarians. So if parliament don't go give the approval for 124 million, then now they can't tell we say government they put their own money, the developer they put 15 million of their own money, then 71 million alone. What happens to the balance? So we are not being treated fairly. Then I'm your comment. I don't know how you see it.
Okay. Let me answer another call. Another caller just pop up again. So let me see. Hello, caller. Tell us who you are and what you get in your mind. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Alusain. I call from Maryland. How are
okay,
you,
Mr. Alusain. Pretty good.
Well, I just want to make a small contribution to this topic today.
Okay.
Ecowas, the reality to me is that one of the most important organizations in the region, West Africa region, because to enjoy democracy, because at the effort to restore democracy in our country, that they sacrifice lives, that they sacrifice the money, the income, to make peace come in the country day, and to make development come. So this is one way we Sierra Leone to pay back for hosting nation and say thanks to the whole Ecowas community. That's me believe. In terms of development, I've been listening to Vice President recently, where they promised to lock up people about a few years ago. Where they put, he said, Lungi Airport like Freetown. It's almost like Freetown, like go be a city. I've been seeing a campaign statement. Past where I begin to see brand new airports don't come. We are one of the that they don't boost the tourism that the country. Then the PPV airports we don't get that we will get right now. Now conferences that don't come for all international conference system, not to this one no more in future because not to the government they want no more. The private come they get for one now. If them airports don't the hotel level they can build now. Just thinking plane like they can salon before in Liberia they go sleep because 5-star hotel is for let them pass in and then sleep, just in case layover day or delay. A possibility say Hilton Hotel go begin. Get 10 people and if it's a Turkish airline they own, let me say Brussels airline. If any incident happen at the airport, then get place them for put them passenger there, put them to say follow the crew them of the plane. They must get reliable side for day. Then there is a possibility Lungi will be next capital city. Because when you think about Freetown, when you talk about development for government, what's that in a civil street? That's that cutting area. Like you get parliament, you get state house, you get a ministry, them like a lockout. And that's area then if them Freetown not over congest right now. If they decide for relocate most of them government building in now near the airport. Now you're not going for cross water safe. Like them press there with the can and they think of maybe say that they begin risk for take helicopter for car like that, helicopter crash you up, they go cross water, say boats go sink. I see them come on the airport, a straight at the conference, they go for the conference, they go at the place where they sleep, at the hotel. Within the convenience is super he had for belief. It doesn't like a watch this way you learn. I see you land at the airport na Reagan Airport. For it at the White House, na few minutes, you know, for it at Congress, na few minutes. For it na any hotel na Washington DC, you know, the possibility for let you go, then you spend few hours, you turn back that you country promote. Easy now. You can Lungi, you go meeting, if not meeting, you gonna you lodge. If you lodge, if you decide for turn back, you fly back the same day. Within few hours, you don't turn back. Then if you begin cross water or you begin to take almost an hour for travel, to traffic na free tongue till they reach na lodge na been too many. So the potential for Lungi be one of the best cities in Africa is possible, like how Abuja did. So if now government ready for make bridge safe now, if they decide for open parliament now, na put local, or they decide if their mining company will open at the north, most of the workers they will come, the foreign workers they hotel and this. There is a possibility for potential for the economy go. And so me tourism himself, because Lungi beaches them. They decide for build more hotel and build more development. Them beaches they don't decide the city of Freetown will be decongested. Because Freetown like a big slum now. All the way you're gonna do it all around. All the way you go, people are open markets. They send any corner where you pass. But Freetown get the potential to be second capital city now. So now pray to God. Make after this summit done, they want to because the investor, not the government get a place there. Then the company will don't open business day. If na Africa other summit they will get for Africa, not to pass political summit then then business summit, then they can host them. Along back, they land at the airport, they go to the conference center. If na them big Nigerian artists, the African artists they come, they keep big perform at them big convention center then they because we not get venue for host big crowd. They can perform in that video there. They can perform with almost 100 fans there. They land at Lungi, then get place for sleep. After the show, then go back in a plane the next morning and Tobago side they go. So I think that development was alone. Now they talk about in terms of tourism, one of the most developed. Sorry, the rapid development go to the up in another region. They say we in Cape Verde, Togo, Tanzania. Not so 20-something% go to say we don't get that the tourism industry. So now we open pray, now we look on the right side, the positive side. Now we pull politics when a development, it takes time. Development take time. And this time to President Bio, you not choose who's in strong gold, who say go be at the south or the east. He be now side don't vote for us and they bill so because what do you think about a development first? Not the politics. What you think about even this other people that would come there, apart the mining company, the other one who can open self, they say they want to open the industrial zone. They're close to Lungi Airport. So now thank you very much for the time on give me. I appreciate that. No, focus on development now. Thank you very much. Okay, bye.
Okay. Mr. Menga, to you, sir.
Yes, let me make one thing clear. And we support development. Let me talk from the fact that say me, na Lungi I start my career. There's nothing wrong with waiting the go on. We are not opposed to it. But waiting this program therefore now for follow systems and procedures. Number one, if the vice president they talk say they want make Lungi a second city, let not follow the mistake where Freetown we not get. Originally, Freetown was a planned city for 250,000 people then. With migration and other things, and lack of structural planning, Freetown don't become congested. It is suffer from so many structural failure. So that is what we are talking about as Lungi. So if Lungi they don't decide for be a second city, I don't get any problem with having this complex. But is that within a structural plan? Because if you want to do a city, you want to make a second city, you can't forget structural plan. Where is the structural plan? Who is responsible? Next, we don't bring out issue where people in land they be confiscated without compensation. This is what we are talking about. I'll be happy for Lungi to be a second city. Let it be an overspill of Freetown. But at the procedure, they will talk about how they finance this complex. You say that then people here, they invest their money. How somebody they go invest money, right? Let's say me as a Sierra Leone now, would I go for do a project in Sierra Leone? Let's say I build a factory in Lungi or an IT center. Then government go give me the same privilege for give me a guarantor for a loan for me on business. If private sector one come speculate and invest, there's nothing wrong with that. Talking about is the risk that government is taking in guarantee. We're talking about. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Now, the only comment you may get, I think Mr. Alusani in calling, his point is well taken, but I think it mix up two things. Every time we talk about now wishes, what in a wish, there is none of what he mentioned to go on now or plan for go on within the immediate future. A conference center, not just a development for specific purpose within this particular location. This conference center, not a development to Lungi, not a development to Sierra Leone. And as my colleague pointed out, now one day for $124 million. So when Mr. Alusa end up with natural politics, I think it's okay. Because I think say one thing we don't put your mind to, whenever you disagree or you raise questions, you want to play politics. So I don't even understand. There's no politics to play here. Because what you would talk about, all governments don't do them. I mean, the current government do them, the Anaskoroma government do them, then go Mama, then take a lot of people in land. So what does it talk about? They will say there are laws, follow the law. There's no politics in telling people them, just comply with the law. No misuse the power of government for take people and property. We also say that this show that people and property, not only then take and they don't demolish some people and property. There is no evidence that they don't compensate them, and there is no evidence that even if they plan to, they're going to be compensated at market prices. These are some of the things. And so when we talk about the people, because we don't know the country not the people. You, Mr. Halusan, you say for a call, if you get land at Lungi, you know, like government just go demolition if you don't begin below today or if they take them from you. That's all they get for doing that. Like the way you say, well, we plan for put a super highway in here. So to you, that should be taken as a super highway and not bill. So what taking your property? Okay? Or if that, because every way you talk about the matter of waiting, now wishes. So just like me saying, I wish I can. I mean, it would be nice if I can get a private plane where I can just jump in my car, go to the airport and fly straight to Freetown. These are wishes. It's good if I get the money. But I don't necessarily get for go hijack a plane. I don't necessarily for go tip somebody in plane. I don't necessarily get for tip somebody in traveling ticket. So it could all the wishes, like my colleagues say, they're all great. We all wish all of that for the country. In fact, we want leaders who are dedicated to that. Develop Lungi, develop Freetown. And Freetown being overcrowded, well, that's our problem for deal with. That's why God gave brain. At one time, people were where they were. Then all of a sudden we get a civil war. It drives a lot of people in a Freetown. That's the way it is. And the people who are coming to Freetown, they are entitled to Freetown. So now government and responsibility for find a place, a decent place. We're not talking about pan body. We're not talking about places where people can wash and go in a bathroom. So because we get more respect for people than that. So this is what we're saying. So nobody is opposed. But every way he says, so not to development, everything Mr. Alusan where you comment, but not to development. Then that's the express. And we not get independence yesterday. Not to 10 years ago, not to 15 years ago, not to 20 years, not to 30, not to 40, not to 50 years ago we get independence. So, and you and me will die, we still they express all them desire, we're not going to see them. That's all we are saying. We all get the same wishes. But don't mistake that for saying, politics. And there's nothing wrong with politics. Good politics is productive. So there's nothing wrong. So I think, not forget the idea wrong. We are just pointing the abnormalities them and this, the quickness, the rush, and the purpose, and the money, and the borrowing. Who pays it? All of that, and dancing and there with the question. You know, so if you can't build a skyscraper the middle of Moriton, we still get to ask you, say, well, what's in this skyscraper in Moriton? Why in Moriton? You get to ask question. All right. Somebody just sent in a comment. This guy was in another show I was watching. I think this guy, meaning the person we're calling comment, he's going around talking for the government about new city, while Sierra Leoneans are suffering from electricity, water, and medicine. Well, he's entitled to his opinion. I mean, that's why we forget the freedom for disagree. And as long as Mr. Alusan can defend which he thinks is good, his thoughts are welcome. I mean, we can't stop him, but we'll go tell Amusa we disagree. And we're glad all the callers are calling to see if they agree with him or they disagree with him, because the program of we all, not of we do on board. So, but we wanted visitors to come and see our country also and spend money to boost our economy. Mother Bio put in Sierra Leone in debt of $135 million for just one day event. That's another comment that came in. So, Mr. Alusan, in conjunction with the other people who they call in, we just to bring this out. We're not getting anything against the government, but we're out there. We all see things differently. Everybody's idea is welcome. So your idea, as well as everybody else's idea, will be put out there. Let people inform their own opinion. I mean, if it's okay with you that houses are being taken, properties are being taken, just compensation are not being paid, and that if it's okay with you that the government they go on the right or guarantee loan for a foreign company, if it's okay with you that the foreign company will not know who they get them, we forget saying a Turkish company. I mean, if you see all them things, they not build bridge, or they not build the center, we not see Sierra Leone and the benefit. This not just wishes for the DRE. But if you think that's good enough for Salone, it's okay, let them take the debts. Let them not tell anybody how they get them. If you think it's okay for Parliament not for follow their own rules, because they're in power. If you feel it's okay, government, once you get government, then free for do. I mean, it's welcome. There's room for that. We can accommodate that. That's what diversity is all about, and that's what democracy is all about. You get your right, and please feel free for call here anytime. I mean, you're always welcome. Back to you, Mr. Mengot.
Well, I think we don't go into this because I want to play that video, but another thing we're very important on this Ecowas thing. We welcome all these things, but the reason I want to let the control room play the video, for say another thing will take place. Yeah, where we go put her in context within the development of the Lungi area, and also waiting at that demand day in terms of activities in the Lungi area. Control room, if we can play the one where the Minister of Planning, when they talk about this new logistics center. Control room, can you hear us? Anyway, another
it was chosen to host the Ecowas Logistics Depot as part of support to Ecowas peacekeeping efforts within the region, and more so with the increasing rates of violence, extremism, and terrorism within the region. And this base here will provide logistics support and also serve as a training base to standby forces.
This depot will be the logistic hub that will support all the Ecowas missions within the region. We have so far Ecowas mission in Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, and very soon, God's willing, we'll have a Republic of Sierra Leone.
Commissioned in 2020, the construction of the Ecowas Logistics Depot was to have lasted for a period of 15 months. However, it's over 3 years now, with the contractors confirming the work is 97% completed.
The contractor was supposed either to amend, to provide, or to rectify. So out of those lists, the total percentage in terms of progress for the amendment corrections is about 97.78%.
As a logistic depot, the facility requires a port service, thus negotiation with local authorities for the plot of land between the depot and the sea.
We want to ensure that every activity is conducted and completed as quickly as possible. So why we came here today was to negotiate a parcel of land between the depot and the coast, because it's supposed to be a coastal facility, to ensure that we acquire this land for the depot to be completed and handed over to the Ecowas. The depot is supposed to be a coastal depot. An inland food facility is to be established in Mali. And Sierra Leone was selected as the site for the coastal depot. Now, as the depot stands now, Site 2, there is not direct access to the coast. If you want seafaring vessels and access to the sea. So what we have come to do is to ensure that the depot can acquire this plot of land adjacent to the sea.
The establishment of the Ecowas Logistic Depot was approved by the United Nations to serve as a base for a standby force to support Ecowas peacekeeping operations in the region. Ronald.
Okay, so where I play this, you can see two different approaches of development. And we still talk about Lungi area. With this one, when at the Ecowas depot, the logistics depot, they tell we say they don't get massive delay. And when they talk logistics, you get access to the sea. How come you don't build the facility? Then we don't build the facility. Now, after that, now you go meet the people and for negotiate land for connect that facility there to the sea, and it's supposed to be sea. What does that tell you? It's lack of planning. The same two at the top. And then, if they get for use land as a logistic depot and Ecowas forces then get for Kandi, right? We don't know how much accommodation they get, whether there's going to be a spillover for require. Also, you go need other facilities then for support that logistics depot there. What plan are we making? Where is the structural plan? So my question is, based on my transportation and logistics knowledge, and also urban planning knowledge, how do we plan a city? How they can? We don't say first we don't get airports. That's fine. We talk about the airport context and everything. Then the question of the airport now is access to the airport. In terms of most people where they come, either one come free town, you get some people where they go to the provinces. Waiting at the land access. An airport can be as good as its land access. Because you know them country how it is so. Airport land access, you go get rail access, you get road access. So when you plan next year, now that year they take into consideration, right? So again, if they can get an international complex, when they can't train soldiers, then when they count their family, everything, how would that affect the economy of Lungi and the planning? So you see, we agree with Mr. Alusain say, Lungi needs development, but it has to be a structural development. Just like in one area, they don't build the complex and now they go negotiate with the people there for land. In the other area, the people are already there. They go build outside the people and then they demolish the land. What kind of strategy you get for land use planning at the country? That is my question as a professional. Over to you, sir.
Well, all I can add, because I get another call where I want to, all I can add to that is, now the minister say they are there to negotiate the acquisition of land from the owners, what land will give access to the sea. Well, why does it take a delegation to negotiate ownership? Don't we have the Ministry of Housing and Country Planning, the technocrats who should be doing that? I don't know if you forget a delegation for go negotiate.
But we also get a land commission. We get a land commission.
Yeah.
You get a land commission, and according to the act where I've been just quote, you forget a chiefdom land committee. When they mean for them negotiate with them earlier on, when they build that complex thing. But then and the other thing. So if the caller still, they will not take the call.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Who's you call from?
Yes, sir. Now me again. I hope I hear me fine.
Okay, yeah, we hear you clearly.
I'm sorry if I come back because I heard my brother sign the comment. Well, I find an opportunity to say an attack. I could just comment on the things the way you say. Well, this we didn't talk about development. If you count the cost of development, number one, you know, means that we didn't talk about development. It can make at the risk of the country in progress. Just for put a building. This is the reason this is why accountability is important in governance. Mr. Boralusan, I want you understand one thing. The main thing we might have you kind of power for any other government we get for come. Now we can improve the people and living standards. So they maintain what they meet. Now we talk about the minimum wage alone. If we need 500,000 that time day. That time they now almost like the $75. And things were even cheaper at that time compared to today. They say now 800, now 1,200,000. I don't know if they pay more because they just start them. If you see them, they pay themselves, then they about $50. So that $50 today, which they buy, with $50 they buy each as not the same thing. No. You know that it's a what I do. So what you just say is that you know example of people that will loyal to party. You can only anyway they comment all the time. So me what I wonder would do this love we get for this party show. Now for una with the abroad now we don't can see governance how they do something. Now for make una energy now. Send them to this party in the power forever. So that they do things the way they do before. Way people they do before, they don't know they give them back and they wouldn't put along again. But if today we have to clap back, say anything when they ask question, when I say where we go, it's not a good idea. Oh man, America way this so. If they teach America the way they teach alone, so oh man, what can we do? America no good there. You know, we get benefit if or retirement, you know what they. But now because people in the way for 1, 2 things the way now people centered. They not matter you know kind of power for come rule the world. It can't for come rule Sierra Leone so that Sierra people in life can improve. When I will let these partners for be the energy towards that change. Where they make people in Abuja Unkelau, the life them change. This day the days have more houses them. They're gonna people at rim. Food not be hygienic poor. All man get typhoid, but drink dirty water. If you not go, we not encourage them to see the 120 million way the energy and the speed with which they develop this year so they put up a water or put up a one medical center where the whole world they come visit. It will be a good idea. But no, not say it is fine. What have you develop? This is not development, this is an integration. Because at the end of the day, the economy gets for suffer. We get a lot of priorities then for take over, for take care of. And then you left and say, na for Ecowas. Only make Lungi. Who cares about you having a second city? People they want for them life them go before. We put this passion about political party into improving people's lives. Now you make a kind of governance. Donald Trump working in America, so today they put box in box that they lost badly. Because what for me say inflation be higher, now you don't even double. And people are not going to look to that say they will have to party. They will vote against them. Now you make America they go before. Why the good thing happen in America or Europe, We don't count in a saloon. Maybe saloon, when say, you know, come back in a saloon. We don't work here for 20, 30 years. We don't go to your pension in a saloon. We have borders them. No, we use this energy for the love of party. No, be objective. This clap, no be have saloon. You don't deal with the clap and dance. Take the water not do for drink. Yeah, at the big, that is what I'm doing for you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mustafa. Thanks for calling. Well, as far as we're concerned, Mr. Mengot, unless you have something else you want to talk about, because I'm sure we're not able to cover everything, we're way overboard. But whatever we didn't touch, unless you have objection, we can postpone to the week after. Because again, let me remind the audience, next week, because of the World Cup soccer, the program not go come on. So, Mr. Mengot, if you have anything else to say, you're quite welcome, sir.
Well, all I got to say, I mean, this topic, as you can see from the response, both the calling and the people that we send, na eye opener for a lot of people, and a lot of people will not be know the details. So I think so we don't reach a time working round up. But me, the thing where I go and say, now one, when government they go take or make an agreement on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone, then can go Parliament. Number one, it is the duty of Parliament to make sure say then get a website, let them put the agreements there, let people then get access to them. So let not begin distort government intention, because we not go like for here for misinformed people. Secondly, if the Minister of Finance don't go say go get an agreement ratified by Parliament for a loan of 124 million, then later on, other ministers then can, according to which one of the callers say, they talk about 71 million and 15 million, we not all water. Then they cause suspicion. And we get a Minister of Information, which always talk say, in the deal with facts. So we need to a challenge to government on that tier or anybody if they want kind of show, they are welcome. For talk about the loan agreement, for talk about how they go manage this facility after the conference done, and for tell me waiting at the risk mitigation measures the way they don't get, because the Ministry of Finance get debt management controller. Let it not be said then they can't take loan on behalf of the people them, and any default go affect the government, and when it affect the government, it will even mean say it affects all the team that we will get for provide with the little revenue we they get at the consolidated fund. With that, I will just tell the people then thank you, and for way they listen. And me from this side, we don't say we'll not go there next week. We just hope say, I just hope say the King's boys go there for bring the trophy home. Because it don't take 60 years since 1966 where the cup not come home. So until then, I thank you all for listening and wishing all a good working week. Over to you, sir.
And thank you so much, everyone. And please, I encourage everybody when they call, when they listen to them program. And in particular, I encourage Mr. Alusain to please don't feel restrained, feel at ease, calm. And if you know any Agbagba, where you go encourage for kind of a show, we go able to answer some of the issues there, is welcome, because we all love the country. And God no make we all for we think alike, and we love the same thing. So no problem if we all not see things the same way. And so God make we. And that's not the beauty of the world. So it's okay. There's a place for you that we show. So please call. Okay? Thanks. Bye-bye.
In the heart of Sierra Leone, where dreams often struggle to find wings, one young man dared to hope. This is John Sitter. Born into a humble family where even putting food on the table was a daily challenge, education seemed like a distant dream.
Good afternoon and welcome to Voice of Salon Radio.
Good afternoon to the listeners.
Yeah, so what are your name?
My name is Ibrahim, sir. Ibrahim Pedal.
Ibrahim Pedal, what?
Kamara.
Kamara. You understand say everybody people come first in the whole country?
Yes, I'm a Pekin. Actually, they talk to you now, so we born the Pekin. Now, attire the cell. Now, empty attire the cell. I no gets. In lunch, na 10,000 a year every day. At times we meet up at the biggest one and when we eat, they can get 10,000. Not all the time. It is strain. At the constraint, at the up to 14 years, work no day.
John had a fire in his heart and brilliance in his mind, but brilliance without opportunity often fades into silence. His parents believed in him, but with an annual family income of less than $1,000, they couldn't afford to keep John in school. Then came the VOS Diaspora Helping Hands Scholarship Program, a beacon of hope for underprivileged, talented students like John.
Take the first position during my WAS examination.
And what are the mechanisms have you put in place for you to become first again for WAS?
I should be studying very hard and hardworking in class.
So what do you want to tell others that are unfortunate to come first in the Beckett process?
Okay, my advice to my colleague students is that success do not come overnight. They have to study and get prepared for any tax overhead.
All right, thank you very much. This is VOS, Voice of Salon Radio.
Today, John is not just a student. He's a leader, a mentor, and a beacon of hope for his community. With your support, VOS Diaspora Helping Hands empowers students like John from humble beginnings to reach for the stars. Together we can transform more lives. Together we can change the story. Join us today. Sponsor a dream. Shape the future. Scan the QR code to donate or visit our website at www.vosdiaspora.org.
Imagine having Africa in your pocket. News, television, radio, networking, business opportunities, and community all in one powerful app. Watch BAV TV live and stay connected to the stories, discussions, and events shaping Africa and the diaspora. Listen to BAV Radio 24 hours a day, wherever you are in the world. Get breaking news from across Africa and around the globe in real time. Access digital services, mobile top-ups, gift cards, and other exciting products coming soon. Call family, friends, and business contacts using secure voice and video calling. Build meaningful network. Build meaningful relationships with Africans worldwide through the BIV Diaspora Network. Buy, sell, advertise, network, and engage in vibrant community conversations. Support education and discover scholarship opportunities that empower the next generation. Download BAV Network today and join a growing global community of Africans.
Mama Salon, we like you.
Welcome.